It's over.
9 whole years.
And I've been a fan for 7 years. I believe we were juniors in high school when we got into the show.
Yeah. Who would have thought that today, us in our old man age,
We're not that old.
I'm 24, in our age, that we would be talking about My Little Pony. So, yeah, so I think we should just get to the point that we started out, junior year. Technically, he got into it before I did.
Yeah, I got you into the show.
He gave me a phone call. I gave him pretty much the most ridiculously funny face. I'm just like, dude, are you high? Something wrong with you? I was like, I didn't know, and then you gave me a list of episodes, like, okay, I'll look at them and see if anything. I think most of them was the Cutie Mark Crusader episodes I looked at first because those were my favorite characters at the time. And then later on, I watched I think there was like a marathon going on for the Candlelight Wedding. And then we went from like season 1 to season 2, and then it just so on and so on. So yeah, we've been watching the entire season, every single airing since like, the first, well, not since the first season, like the second season.
Like near the end of the second season.
Yeah, though I don't think it was a good time for us to become fans because the third season ended up becoming trash at that time.
No. No.
But we accepted it because like we were just starting out as fans.
But I thought this season 3 was good.
I honestly thought it was decently okay, all right. I didn't think it was that bad compared to season 4. Season 4 was bad.
What? Seriously? Season 4 had some of the best episodes in the show.
Yeah, it's just like there were episodes, but none of them stood out to me, I guess. And then we have season 5, and then season 6, and then I think that's basically the filler pile right there. Besides season 8 and 9.
I guess season 6 through 8 were the weaker seasons overall.
Yeah, and then
I mean, they weren't bad by any means. There just weren't many that really stood out to me.
some of them were a little stood out. Some of them weren't, to me personally. But yeah, we've gone through the series. We've watched the specials, the spin-offs. We even watched the movie, of course, when it came out.
Yeah, it was nice to see. It was nice to see the movie in theaters, even if
And it was
even if it wasn't all that special.
honestly, I was hyped for the movie because it was a 2D animated movie on the big screen, and like we haven't seen those in a long time.
Yeah,
It was like a big deal to me.
Unless it's a limited release of a foreign movie.
Yeah. One thing. When I went to we went separately. So when I went to go see it, there were cosplayers in the theater.
Lucky you.
Yeah, and one of them was dressed as one of my favorite characters, and I wanted to go ask her to like take a photo with me with a cosplay, and I just couldn't. I was just nervous, and there was a funny phone call I made afterwards telling him about it, and he would have been like, I would have pushed you.
Yeah,
just to,
I remember saying something like
like
that.
I would have pushed you to like go over there. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if it could. And then of course, he's went to more conventions than I have. I've only went to BronyCon once.
Yeah. We'll talk about the impact the show made at the very end.
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll talk about the 3-parters. So
So a bit of a recap. At the beginning of season 9, Celestia and Luna make a big announcement. They're planning on stepping down from the throne, and would have Twilight succeed them.
retiring. Because what if they were done mostly? Well, besides Luna, she does a lot of things, but just Princess Celestia just sitting on her throne, just thinking about the trees.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this ancient villain named Grogar assembles the remaining villains of the show. The ones who haven't been reformed, like Chrysalis, T-Rex, and Cozy Glow.
King Sombra as well.
Oh yeah,
But he gets killed off like in the first 2 parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Even after Grogar demanded that they all work together in a way to take down Twilight once and for all, Sombra goes on his own but gets defeated.
Pretty easily by, the power of friendship, but I don't want to. Okay, I'm not going to go too long on this, but I feel that the show has gone through a lot of inconsistency over the years, especially during starting of season 4, because continuity started to be like a really big problem, and that's also for like the new writers of the show. For example, not understanding what the old writers wrote about these characters. Some episodes in later seasons just felt like these characters were from season 1.
Yeah. Yes. See. By the time season 7 or 8 came out, most of the original writing staff went on to do other projects, and these new, and I guess these new writers that they hired were only given like a basic outline of of what's been going on and how the characters are.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just felt like really. I don't know. It just really felt bad. Just they didn't understand this impact the show's gone through over the years.
And actually, I remember one episode from season 8 being a straight up rehash of Fall Weather Friends.
I remember that episode. It's just like it wasn't as bad. I thought it was funny enough. It's just like, it just felt like, and also it's not only inconsistency of like emotions or the personalities of the characters, but also the power levels. And it's weird to me talking about power levels, but when you see a Marvel movie, it's also weird talking about a Marvel movie about this, but like, you see a character grow.
Get into the frame.
You see a character grow over years, and like you see like them getting better at what they're doing, kind of like Spider-Man. Spider-Man and like all the movies have gotten better and better over time. And from Homecoming to like an Avengers movie to like then being Far From Home. I mean, he was amazing in Far From Home, and like these characters, they haven't gotten much stronger than they were before. And also, what happened to their rainbow powers? I know that like, oh, but they lost them after they defeated T-Rex and stuff. But like, we never.
No. But remember, the elements came back. This like sometime afterwards.
Yeah, it's just like, then how do they lose their rainbow powers? Like,
the power of friendship, it's a rather mysterious but still useful force.
Yeah, but it's just like, this could have been a Deus Machina. I understand, it could have been a Deus Ex Machina for
Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina for like a lot of episodes of a show, but like at the same time, like keep the the inconsistency of powers or like characters who are strong or not. That's the issue I've had. Even to this finale is probably the biggest insult to that point. But honestly, the show's lost its continuity for a long time, so I'm not going to go through it that much.
And look, let's just take it for what it is. They still cared. They wanted to give us a satisfying finale.
They did technically, but that's mostly in the third part. So the first 2 part basically is just Avengers Endgame.
But okay, Endgame starts with our heroes lost. They haven't lost yet.
Yeah, but you can kind of see that there's some elements of Endgame in there.
Also, take into account. Production was still going on before Endgame was announced, and Marvel was keeping things under wraps with with the plot.
Yeah, but so you cannot say that there was inspiration from it just from that finale.
Yeah. So going back to one episode from season 9, where the treacherous trio, I'm just gonna call them that, that they steal a book on how to use Grogar's bell.
Yeah, supposedly the villains are betraying the villains, so there's not really much of a big team up here, even though 3 of them are teaming up. But just at the fact that Grogar, being the big man who basically possibly is super powerful compared to all of them, somehow is betraying them.
Yeah, it's because they don't trust him, and he hasn't been communicating much with them. Yeah, so they steal a book on how to use Grogar's bell, and they finally learn how to use it. They get all powerful, and of course steal Grogar's magic, and
we get the biggest reveal ever. Even though, to be fair, weirdly enough, I kind of knew it was coming.
Also, I was spoiled this a while back.
Oh, I guess I was the lucky one. No, not really the lucky one, because I got away with not knowing the spoiler. I'm just like, I saw this coming.
Grogar was Discord in disguise.
Yeah, to be fair, his design was like very similar to Discord, and also the way he talked.
It's the eyebrows, wasn't it?
Yeah, not only that, but it's also the horns and just the way he talked. He didn't sound like he was actually caring about, like, just the way he was just walking away, not caring about his whole plans. We don't find out what his deeper meanings of trying to come up with a big plan. And here's the thing. I'm not surprised about this because, in a sense, he's done this throughout most of the seasons.
And also, I guess Grogar was introduced too late to really be, like the biggest final boss the ponies will face.
Yeah, but I think one thing in particular is because I kind of expected this, because I've noticed that each season Discord is involved in some kind of stupidity or he causes something, and I'm just like, this feels like the formula that they're going to go with for the entire series. I'm just why wouldn't they put this in the finale?
Or rather, he was being a sort of being a mentor figure in his own way.
Yeah, I mean, remember, and also, I don't know, I felt that they were too hard on him, like the way that they, for example, once the ponies find out he disguised himself as Grogar and like everything that happened, everyone just goes bashing into him, and Fluttershy just cries out like crazy.
The reveal that Grogar was Discord, that never bothered me. I was once that was revealed, I was like, all right, what's his ulterior motive here? And then he reveals that he assembled the villains to boost Twilight's confidence. Okay, fine, but he still practically handed the bell to the villains. He basically gift wrapped it to them, and now the damage that's being done, it's all because of him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think in a way it's not really that big of a deal when you think about it, because remember, he's just thinking of the mindset of them over the years. I mean, over the years they've dealt with like really bad people, and over the years it's just like, if they've constantly beat these people, even a child who is so evil that it was Cozy Glow. Yeah.
Cozy Glow has my vote for most disturbing MLP villain.
Yeah, and also she goes to jail.
She gets sent to Tartarus a bit because her crime was so bad. Like, she nearly drained Equestria of all their magic.
Oh, but like trying to enslave... But Starlight gets a free pass for enslaving people. We'll just talk to you about your feelings and just talk about your, like...
Okay, the difference between Cozy Glow and Starlight is that Starlight actually showed remorse. Cozy Glow, she has no problems accepting her villainy.
Nope. Oh my gosh. A lot of people compared her to that villain from Cats Don't Dance.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but like I know exactly what they're talking about because I've seen clips of that villain.
But I mean, we've had evil child characters before, but still, having a rather world-dooming child villain in display, that caught me off guard.
Here's the thing. A lot of people were actually not shocked that she was the bad guy because of the fact that it looked pretty obvious from her first appearance. Like, a lot of people say, like, it's weird how she's talking like this, and, like, it looks like she's mostly saying... And you know how, like, she first introduced, she's like, I'm sad because of this, and also because I need to pass my class and stuff. I'm just like... That feels like she's scheming something. There's something going on.
Also, her cutie mark is a chess piece, specifically a rook. So it highlights how...
I didn't notice that, actually.
So it highlights how manipulative she is. Actually, no wonder she and Grogar became pen pals. She and T-Rex became pen pals. Because they're both masters at manipulating people. I mean, T-Rex manipulated Discord into joining him in Twilight's Kingdom. That's saying something.
I'm just like, I kind of knew this was coming, but at the same time, I just wanted to make sure at first. And then when her big reveal, I'm just like, what a shock. Because it was kind of like, who was there? Like, who else was there besides that headmaster and stuff? But like, he just seemed like that would be a little too obvious for him to be the villain. But then there's also this other character who sneaks around and like maybe she's obvious of being the villain. But I felt like she was going to be the villain out of this.
So back to the ending of the end.
So this is where it gets a little issue with me. Like, when it's so it's revealed that Discord was Grogar. Everyone gets so upset with him, but honestly, he's just thinking about, they've defeated bad guys before. What's the difference with having 3 of them all together just being fight? And to be fair, they put up a really good fight, and that's the one thing I really liked. That they kept the fact that they have gotten stronger over years, at least towards the finale. It's a little inconsistent in some parts, but like most parts, for example, Applejack is taking on Cozy Glow, who has big time power. Like, she has like the ultimate power of flying and shooting lasers out of her her hooves.
Yeah, she became a powerful alicorn.
Yeah, and then Applejack is just swinging her down, beating the shit out of her. I'm just like, yes, because that makes sense. That makes sense. Pinkie Pie's using her cannon just to blow herself away.
Actually, it looks more like a bazooka.
Yeah, I'm just like, and a lot of people are just like, yes, this makes sense. Because they've grown over years in their power, because they've gotten stronger over years. They've fought bad guys. They're used to this now. Yeah. Even Fluttershy kind of kicks ass in this, too. Mm-hmm. Like, she uses animals, obey me, and attack. I'm just like,
oh, yeah, she used those, what were those birds? But they were in the 200th episode. But yeah, it was a nice Wizard of Oz reference.
Fly, my pretties, fly. It was like, that is badass. That almost was like a scene from Shrek the Third, but like Snow White and like that was just a badass scene and everything. But here's my problem after this: they kind of get defeated. They lose most of their abilities after, the power, because they're now all together, the villains are all together using this huge blast, and it looks like they're dead or something. Dead. Yeah, that's another thing.
Twilight escapes as a way to, plan while her friends, as well as the Pillars and Starlight, get imprisoned.
Yeah, that's the thing I really hated about part 1. I'm just like, the Pillars, the legends, are captured. Even the magical wizard that was a huge build-up throughout the first season, all of a sudden just becomes this old man who can't do crap. I'm just like...
Okay, let's be fair here. T-Rex a magic eater. I don't think the Pillars stood a chance.
True, but it's just like, couldn't they have dodged his moves and would have blasted him, while he wasn't sucking up all the power and stuff. I'm just like, that's something that could have been done, and just like, they just lost so easily. It was just so really bad to look at. My worst one is Starlight, because first off, Starlight is equally as powerful as Twilight, as we've seen in one episode and consistently know. And so, yeah, it's weird how Starlight, who's an alicorn, a unicorn, who can somehow match the power of an alicorn. And she gets defeated easily by Chrysalis and gets captured. I'm just like...
No, I wouldn't say easily. I mean, she still put up a fight.
She put up a fight, but just like, everyone agreed that Starlight would have wiped the floor with her, even with her big power that she had. Like, she would have wiped the floor with Chrysalis because she did it before, even when she had a lot of power and grabbing everyone else from that one episode that she was in. Like, it's just like, this makes no sense. And I think we're not going to talk about like the background third. Like, there's a lot, weirdly enough, there's a lot of plots in like...
Wait, background third?
Like, I'm saying, like, the third, like, there's a third plot in, like, the two-parter where all the ponies are separated from each other because Chrysalis planned on, like, trying to separate all of the regions.
The trio were turning all the ponies against each other.
Like Pegasus and unicorns and alicorns.
Earth ponies.
And earth ponies, like, all turning against each other and stuff.
And of course, I just realized, without them uniting, it would release the Wendigos. A nice callback to Season 1.
Continuity! All of a sudden. And like, and this is where the thing gets really, really, really dumb. Like, I understand. This is, it's a show originally for little girls, and the new writers are just like, well, we're not gonna go so all the way. Let's just like write this corny, completely just like, first off, Twilight has been through so much, and somehow this is her breaking point. Like, she literally tells them in their faces, I have no plan, we're all doomed, everyone's depending on me, even though I can't do anything. And she's sobering, she's moping and doping. I'm just like, oh, my gosh, what is this cliche? Why is it ruining? Could have been a smart move here. She cheats 9 whole years. You would think she would have gotten better at this point. Like, this is what I didn't like about this particular part. It's not ruining the whole thing for me, but it was just a drag just to see her just moping and doping her friends and like can't figure out anything. And like, I'm not the only, like, you're not alone. All of your friends are here and you can still do something. Like, what on earth are you crying about?
Well, I mean, that's what her friends were telling her about. There are times, just when we're ahead of our games, something happens that just toys with our mind. That lets our mind manipulate us.
Yeah, they challenge us and stuff. But like, compare this to the finale of Gravity Falls. Even after everyone, the whole world turns into Weird Mageddon, they still try to find a fighting force to fight back. Yeah, they go through a little bit of a slum at some point during the dream sequence, but they come back and they fight back no matter how powerful the guy is, and they find a smart plan to get rid of him. Like, it was well written, it was well done. Here, it feels like this was just like, okay, we just have to add this scene, and then eventually she's gonna realize she has to come back up. They're all gonna fight them together, everything comes to play. And everything does come to play in part 2. So the ponies finally come up with a plan. They try to take down the 3, the main villains and stuff.
Oh yeah, in a rather entertaining sequence where one half distracts the villains and the other half try to get the bell in order to drain them of their powers.
And they do that. And then eventually we get the whole end game kind of, tribute where everyone that they've known over the years, even some background characters, come in and just be this one line of ultimate power.
Even some characters from the movie receive silent cameos.
Yeah, though of course they're drawn a little more cruder than because, the movie was done by a different studio and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and the Young Six, they received their payoff since they united, not just all the ponies but all the creatures into assisting Twilight and friends.
Yeah, because then you start to and then guess what? In my opinion, this fixes the problem of the first part, even after Twilight Mopey, because you see, even though you technically don't hear it, you see a scene where you find out all the little ponies who've learned lessons from the main 6 over the years tell them about what friendship is.
Yep.
And like, we all have to band together in every region, from Pegasus to unicorns to like earth ponies. All of them
and also other creatures
do speeches
such as yaks, changelings, hippogriffs.
Like, they all get speeches from the friendship lessons they've learned, and like tell them that we have to work together, we have to help them out, and like,
yeah. So
it was building up to this.
Yeah, so it was nice to see that the School of Friendship from season 8 gets a rather satisfying payoff.
And I feel like that fixes the problem of the first season. Yeah, the moping and doping is still hard to get through, but just like, this is what the show has been going through over the years, trying to teach the value of friendship in a way that something like this could happen. It's kind of like the ending scene of It's a Wonderful Life, but like a little bit more epic in a sense.
All right, and then comes the whole rainbow beam thing. Of course, it's not just the main 6 and Spike. who take part in it, but also the Pillars and the Young
I
Six.
am not kidding when I said the line when they win that rainbow bean. I'm just like, taste the rainbow, mother effer.
Yeah, and it's not random because the Pillars represent the past, the main six, I'll just say main seven, represent the present, while the Young Six represent the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty clever. And of course,
And they turn them all into statues.
uh, yeah.
And they're there for the rest of their lives. I thought it was going to be real. I thought it was going to be kind of dark if it was like the movie where the statue just broke down and like they're dead.
And yeah, let's talk about the treacherous trio's defeat. I, I mean, Celestia means business when she says they're beyond redemption. And and think of this. Some people take issue with the show reforming characters, uh, but for the most part,
They make sense.
yeah, and also the main characters seek out to understand these people. Why was Starlight a villain? Well, why did she hate cutie marks? Because her friend just left her life because of a cutie mark. Or how about Nightmare Moon? Why did Luna turn into her? Because she was jealous.
Yeah, and Discord, technically the guy of chaos, but it looked like he was more of a funny villain, and more of the fact that he never really had a friend. And that's where Fluttershy comes in, and
Yeah, it's all about understanding.
understand, and
Yeah.
and then eventually people, okay, these characters, I'll let them go.
Yeah, and even jerks like Diamond Tiara, they have we find the reason why they're this way.
Oh, Diamond Tiara is probably the best one. I just she later. I mean, yeah, she turned into a much better three-dimensional character later on. Like the beginning, he was just basically a regular bully, but it's just like eventually.
Yeah, but but later on we see why, and
It's definitely not as good as something like Little Witch Academia's, bully. But I'd wonder if any of you got that one. Like,
Diana, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the yeah, in this case though, Chrysalis, Cozy Glow, and T-Rex, they're pretty much beyond redemption.
As Celestia put it.
Yeah, and it actually goes to show. I mean, you can try to save people, but you can't save everyone.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, and for a world that values friendship, I guess even they have their limits.
Pretty much. And then, of course, they, pretty much the finale happens, and at first, like, okay, so this is the ending? Okay, but no, wait, there's a part 3.
Hold on. And I love how part 2 ends with the main seven just hanging out at a donut shop. A nice callback to the first season finale.
True, and Donut Joe is still working there.
And finally, there's the final episode, The Last Problem.
Which takes place in the future.
Yeah. As well as cutting back to, sometime after the ending of the end. Where, the main six have to say goodbye as they, find opportunities. With Twilight, ascending to the throne.
I think this is very representable of people when they go to college, basically.
Or when they have friends who move away.
Yeah, definitely, because I remember, or even going even every year of school that you go to, when you go to, middle school to high school, I've had the experience that Twilight has had over the years. When I was in, elementary school, I only remembered, one friend and then just, never speak to them again. I had a couple of friends in, middle school, but I really did miss them over the years.
Yeah. I've had some friends over the years who, I got along with them, hung out with them, but circumstances happen, whether I would move away, because I've moved a lot throughout my life, or that person moves away. It can be disheartening.
Incredibly. And then there's just high school, and then there's like high school. Like you make a lot of friends in high school, and I've definitely made friends in film class, even in like very small classes. I've spoken to people, even some people I've known that eventually had to say goodbye to.
Oh, and then of course the show addresses this, where the main six actually do find the time to meet up with each other.
But now that's kind of, in a way it's relevant, but it's kind of not relevant as much it is now because
I mean,
we have like Skype now. We have like video chatters, you know, and Discords, Twitter, and stuff.
No, but we're talking about like meeting in person.
Yeah, but like that, but still,
and
like
also,
it's like you're never going to talk to them again nowadays. But you can still technically.
Yeah,
like,
it can certainly feel like that. Like I've, you know, there was a period in my life where I was reluctant to make any more new friends, but. But I got out of that funk, and I remember that I do have, you know, a couple of friends who are far away, yet I still keep in touch with them by some miracle.
I have a few friends too. I even make new friends a lot online, you know, and some of them, you know, hey, we're kind of hanging out online because there's like stuff we can watch things or just, you know, play some games, you know, multiplayer. Like I said, in a way, it's not as bad as like it was before, like, you know, before internet and even before like they created the whole Skype and things and stuff. Even family members who live far away, you know, you could still talk to them.
You know, there are some people, you know, I knew, you know, I tried to keep in touch with them, but it didn't work. That they just suddenly faded away.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the friends that you make sometimes go away, and then some stick around, some don't. But hey, we've been sticking around for a long time, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, we've known each other for about a decade now.
Really, it's been a decade now.
Yeah, we've known each other since freshman year in high school.
Exactly. Like, you know, some friendships last long, some kind of last. You know, my brother still has this friend who we still talk to, even I still talk to for a long time, you know, since like, I think elementary school, and you know they still talk to each other, they still live next to each other. But it's not, like I said, it's not only friends, sometimes it's even family members who live far away and like you don't talk to them as much. Like I have some relatives who live like in the big city and stuff, you know, and I still talk to them a lot, you know, and everything. But like I said, it's not as bad as it was before, but it's still a little thing that is very still
Yep.
relative.
And still, the message they were coming across, it's a great message.
It is, technically. It's a very, very good message.
Also, you got to give this props. It's not often you see an entire final episode of an animated show be an epilogue of sorts. Because most finales, the last episode, the conflict is still going on, not leaving that much breathing room afterwards.
Yeah, and like I said, this takes place in the future, and we see Twilight as a looking Celestia Alicorn. Like, oh my gosh, what puberty did she hit there?
Yeah, she went through another transformation.
Yeah, but just that transformation alone is just oh gosh, she must have felt so much pain.
And also, Spike is ripped.
That's a lot of people actually were wondering, what is Spike gonna look like when he's way older than before? A lot of people thought he was gonna look scary looking, but surprisingly he ended up becoming like a muscular, kind of like his dream sequence eventually. Though people argue, like, how did his age work? Like, he kind of talked like an adult even when he was a baby dragon, but like over time he started becoming more of an adult, I guess.
Yeah, and also, it's nice to see that, you know, Spike hasn't left Twilight's side, especially since in the beginning of the finale, Twilight appoints Spike as her advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And
you think he would like move on from life, and you know he would possibly be eventually the leader of the dragons, you know, and stuff, because technically I forget who her name was. Ember was technically older than him, and like you think she would get too old already, you know,
but don't dragons live a little longer than ponies?
True, but that's not, remember, technically he's going to be with Twilight forever because
also Spike is an ambassador, so I don't think he would succeed her.
Yeah, true, technically, but still. So we get introduced to this new version of the main characters,
Uh, uh,
the main six, or like the new main six, or the next generation main six, or just the next generation in
wait.
particular.
We're introduced to Luster Dawn, Twilight student.
Yes, technically, yeah, and she's like, I don't know anything. I think that friendship is pointless and stuff. And then like even Twilight starts telling her, and like a lot of people were shocked at first, like, wait, Twilight is telling her it's fine. I'm just like,
But let her finish. And then she talks about what we just talked about. How she and her friends managed to maintain their friendship for this.
and in a way, this episode could have gone so horribly because not only do we get the point where, okay, we go back to the past and we see that Twilight is getting her crown finally, but, preparing it pretty hard to get through. All of her friends and family are trying to support her and stuff, but, she's missing her friends. Then her friends get upset, then they stop doing what they're doing, and then hijinks ensue. I'm just like, but here's the thing. By the end, they're just like, we're used to this at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we've been through this whole thing before. What's the point now? And, yeah, we get a conflict, and then eventually back in the future, we see the main six or seven, and and how old they are. And,
yeah.
wow! They definitely
yeah.
are old than what we expected to be. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Pinkie Pie seems to be the youngest out of all of them. While she does have big hair, you don't really see gray or anything, but everyone else, you see gray hair.
Oh yeah. Pinkie's a mother now.
And she's married to Weird Al Yankovic.
Cheese sandwich. I mean, man, that is awesome.
Here's the thing. A lot of people kind of knew that was going to happen, but here's the thing. I kind of knew it was going to happen way before this. Here's the thing. If you look in the last episode with, Cheese Sandwich, the whole thing with trying to be a party pony and creating company.
Yeah.
If you listen carefully by the ending speech, Pinkie Pie said, Cheese Sandwich is such a nice pony. Maybe we'll see each other again more often.
And she was right.
And, yeah. And they have a kid!
Oh, yeah.
A little kid. Who knew Pinkie had it in her?
I mean, let's be fair. After her experience, being a sort of motherly figure to the Cake Twins, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but just like, who knew she had it in her? Like, that is just... And then we see... Well, here's the thing. The creator and even the final staff members of the show said you can interpret it the other main six as much as you want. There are two things. So we find out Rainbow Dash and Applejack are like, for example, Rainbow Dash has Spitfire's hair, so I'm guessing she's like the new commander of the Wonderbolts.
Yeah.
And Applejack seems to be the new owner of the farm because we see that she has Granny Smith's scarf. So that means that, yeah, Granny's gone.
Yeah. And also we see Apple Bloom later on, and she's wearing Goldie Delicious's shawl. Yeah, they don't say anything about it, but
you know, they're gone, dude. I love those characters so much. But here's the thing: so they come in and they're talking about chores. Why? Look, to be fair, it's not the first time we're seeing LGBT ponies in their world. We do get to meet Scootaloo's parents way before an episode.
And also, in the background in the Big Mac problem, Lyra and Bon Bon propose to each other.
And they get married, yeah, and you even see it in a newspaper.
Yeah. In this episode, there's like a page in the newspaper seeing that their wedding took off.
Understandably, it took them a while just to actually bring LGBT characters. To be fair, they are the most popular characters now to put in animation at this point.
And they're often like, I don't know, the most shipped couple in the show.
Understandably, but who knew that the staff writers decided, yeah, we're going to do this. Sure, we'll do this just for all of you, because we congratulate all of you and everything. It's just that Like, I never expected something like this to... Well, here's the thing. We're not 100% sure that Rainbow Dash and Applejack are technically together. They just talk about chores and stuff.
They bicker like an old married couple. But, other than that, nothing's confirmed in the show. You can you can interpret it the way you like.
Yeah, but, one thing that's definitely confirmed, it happened. Fluttershy married Discord.
No one said anything about them being married.
It looks so obvious. Like, I brought you lunch, honey. I'm just like...
They could be roommates for all I care.
So what? She just moved into the crazy dimension that he was, and he's making her lunch? Tell me a friend who makes another friend lunch.
What? Didn't I make you lunch before?
No! When? Like, that's just something that doesn't have... Like, I know in my way this is where it went, and everyone kind of suspected that out of everything. Oh, and also, Angel Bunny got babies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that...
Oh, and Winona, Applejack's dog, she had pups of her own.
Yeah, and Big Mac and,
Sugar Bell.
Oh, yeah, all together.
They have a son as well.
They have a son, they're all together, and, of course, we even find Starlight and...
was it Sunburst?
Sunburst, and they're the new owners of the school, the School of Friendship.
Well, remember, Twilight appointed her as head mare, and Starlight appointed Sunburst as vice head mare.
Those two are going to hook up at some point. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much obvious expected. Now, the one thing that I really didn't like, but look, I understand they were running out of time. It's like, okay, so it was already revealed in a sense with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, using that magic flower to turn older and stuff, and supposedly that's what they were going to look like when they turn older, and that really bummed me out in a sense. And they still looked the same and stuff.
Also, remember the animators have character models to go with, so that's
yeah, but it just feels so lazy. I mean, what's the difference? Apple Bloom still has her hair, her bow, and Sweetie Belle still looks the same, just with her eyelashes a little more. The only one that kind of is unique is the fact that, first example, they acknowledge that Scootaloo is a handicap. And
yeah, her wings never grew. We had a discussion about this before.
Yeah, her wings never grew and stuff, and I guess that's okay. But remember a lot of the DeviantArt, designs of a lot of bronies. They did what are they going to look like when they're older? I've seen this fan art of what they would look like. I'm just like, wouldn't that be amazing if they look like that? Because that makes so much sense. But no, they just look like this. It was so disappointing to look at. I'm just like, I couldn't stand it and stuff. I don't know. That just felt really bad for me and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see.
We also when you look at the background more, you start to see a lot of people's futures in a sense too. For example, someone put this out on Twitter, but Spike got married.
No, he didn't. He's too busy running a question.
No, but he did. Someone pointed out that there is a kind of hippogriff or a kind of what's Gabby again?
She's a griffin.
A griffin, kind of and she looks designed like Spike. I'm just like,
Chris, it's a hippogriff.
Did they get married? I'm just like,
okay. First of all, that's a hippogriff. Dragons and griffins can't really make children.
Well, Shrek pointed out they can.
Okay, and second, Spike is busy running Equestria with Twilight to really have a married life.
Well, technically you can do that. I mean, a lot of people in Royal have definitely had married lives before, Brian.
Yeah, but Celestia...
Try watching Castletown Dandelion. That one was pretty
Yeah,
good.
but neither Celestia nor Luna hooked up with anyone while they were ruling Equestria.
Yeah, and you see them, they're on vacation and stuff. They finally decide to relax and stuff. But, no. But, a lot of people, like I said, this is our interpretation. I'm just like, Spike didn't go with Rarity. He went with Gabby. Like, that's my interpretation. I'm just like, that is just amazing. And we also see the young six, grow up too. Well, they're kind of grown up. You don't really see them.
No, they're adults now. I mean, Yona is pretty big now.
I didn't see her. She lasted like 2 seconds on screen.
She came out of Rarity Shop along with Sandbar.
Oh yeah. Did they hook up? It's like.
Maybe. I mean, I did detect some ship teasing early on in season 9.
Yeah, like they've gotten bigger. All the characters have gotten big. Like, oh my gosh, it just feels so good. And a lot of people, and the ending is like really sweet. And
yeah, I guess I should mention when the final song, "The Magic of Friendship Grows," started playing, I cried.
Like real tears, or
like almost like I know what crying feels like, and
it's emotional tears, like emotional inside tears, like Applejack.
Yeah, and of course there's that final shot of the main 7 just standing there one more time, zooms out to reveal the book as it closes, and then the credits roll. I just kept crying
on the inside.
No, not on the inside. I remember I would look like I was crying on the outside.
Like tears or actual...
Almost tears, but...
I mean, it's hard for him to cry, honestly.
I mean, we'll discuss a bit later, but, the show's...
I will show you a silent voice and you will cry. Really, really cry.
Yeah, but, the show's had an impact on my life, and seeing it end... Well, of course I'm going to feel this way.
I do want to point out that I kind of stopped being a brony, like, during the...
Hang on, before that. Anything else you want to discuss about the episode?
It definitely was a really, in my opinion, the third act was my favorite part, because not only was it so emotional, but it was pretty gripping. And I'm just like, just for me to watch an entire show and just end like that, this felt like the same feeling when I watched the ending of Star versus the Forces of Evil, Avatar: The Last Airbender. It just felt so impacted that I managed to live through this long of a show and finally ending. I'm eventually going to do the same thing with Modern Family, because that series is ending this year.
Really?
Yeah. It's a pretty funny show, though it has lasted longer than it should have. It's like 11 seasons. It should have stopped maybe 5, 7 seasons, but it lasted a little longer, kind of like MLP. And in a sense, MLP, that's kind of how I feel about the series overall. It's a good series, but it lasted a little bit longer than it should have, But hey, we got a good finale out of it.
I'm satisfied with the show. Even if it wasn't perfect throughout.
I mean, technically, the series is not over. The series with these characters aren't over. We still have the Equestria Girls special.
Yeah, but isn't that done too?
Huh?
Isn't Equestria Girls done as well?
I mean, in the sense that
that holiday special that was released recently, it was said to be the last Equestria Girls content by DHX.
Yeah, pretty much. It was to be the last one. Yeah, we still have.
I am kind of bummed out that Equestria Girls isn't going to receive any sort of ending.
Well, honestly, it's another dimension, and we could just argue that they're going to have pretty much the same ending as this one. Except...
And actually, I do wish. Hold on. I do wish Sunset Shimmer had a bit of a presence in the finale. And not just, appearing in the ending montage.
True, but at the same time, like I said, we can already predict that she's happy in her world. She's happy in the world that she's in right now. She's fine being human than being pony and stuff. That's kind of the thing that's going on. But, yeah, I do feel bad for her. And there's some other characters, too, that are not in the pony world. That actually appear in the Equestria Girls world. But, so, to me...
Like the Crystal Prep students?
Yeah. Yeah. So, to me, personally, I felt that, okay, so just wanted to get this clear. I already made a video, I think, a few years ago that I was no longer a brony. I kind of left the fandom after that. That was not... And no, it was not due to, incidents that were happening, though it was kind of part of that. because a lot of incidents started happening during the fandom, even some from people who we thought were good people. I don't want to. Yeah.
And look, every fandom has its toxic people. This is nothing new.
I understand, but like a lot of people thought that they were going to be different. A lot of people thought that the Brony fandom was going to be like incredibly different. Like for a few years, a lot of people, we didn't have bad people. For a couple of years, this fandom that has been going on, we didn't had any bad people, and like people were just like, is it possible that we can actually have good people throughout and we could be different than anyone else? Other fandoms that can be toxic and less toxic?
But there are a lot of good people in the fandom.
True, but like
just those and they far outnumber whoever the scumbags.
No, yeah, but like so I don't want to go too deep into this because I already went too deep in that video. But so basically, I left the fandom not just because of the whole, definitely not because of the show's quality. I've kind of just decided to get rid of the continuity out of that, but like, because of the fact that there were a bunch of things that were going on, even some people we trusted ended up becoming the worst pieces of shit that we've ever witnessed in our lives. And not because of that, but I was a victim of trolls in a sense. Like, a lot. I was kind of part of some kind of group of people who were part of Brony fandoms. I was part of a podcast and stuff, and things happened, and let's just say during Twitter, a lot of people were not agreeing with my opinion, and this is where I just kind of like flew off. I'm just like, no one was giving me respect for my opinion. Everyone was just being like, no, you don't know any better, and like there were the whiners and stuff, but then there were also just the people who just don't like understand what an opinion is. They're just like, oh, come on, this episode's really good, you're just saying that and stuff, and they're just being playful and like nothing, like even one particular episode I know everyone likes, and then they're just arguing with me. Is like, it never stops. Even people who like I look up to, they like, for example, this one person who I looked up to was part of the big reviewer fandom. We had a conversation and he just wouldn't give up. He wouldn't give up arguing with me over just one opinion I had.
All right, let's not let the bad stuff overshadow it.
Yeah.
I mean, were there good things that happened, while you're in the fandom?
Well, no, of course, no. I'm talking about like my ending point. Like this my ending point.
Let's not focus on that.
I understand. Never focus on the negatives, but I just want to give you a reason. Even after I left the fandom, I said, you know what? I'm just going to finish the show until, pretty much I'm done after this. But honestly, would I go back and watch the show just to watch a few episodes? Maybe I would, because, it's still technically a quality show. It's just that, so has there been good things about this? No. Over the years, I've had fun being in this fandom.
Yeah. The show's had an impact on me because, it was the first time I ever really got into fandoms. The same year I got into the show, I attended my first ever convention, BronyCon, and I went there 3 more times. I went again this year, and I had the time of my life over there. Just for that one weekend, I had a sense of belonging, something I really struggled with over the years.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say that the whole fandom is toxic, but like the people I've met during the end were pretty toxic. But like I said, how did my progression go through the years? Honestly, it was pretty perfect until like the ending, and that's kind of the pointing break. And this was during like, I think, near almost the end. Like I think it happened during the 6th to 7th season. This happened to me, but okay. What are the things that this fandom has done for me? Well, it kind of told me that you gotta take a chance in a show that possibly don't judge a book by its cover kind of thing. Guess what? My Little Pony can be for guys too, and maybe other stuff can be for guys. For example, I love the new She-Ra, and it's, I understand it's meant to be for girls, like He-Man meant to be for guys, but hey, I love She-Ra. It's a really good series. The new She-Ra.
but even then, creator Lauren Faust, she wanted to break away from the stereotypes of girl shows.
And she definitely created an impact, but also created a lot of imposters too. For example, Monster High was another girl show with girl power that they tried to do.
Hey,
Barbie tried to do the same thing with that Netflix series. And to be fair, from what I understand, I heard that was an actually decent show. But then there's like other things like DC Superhero Girls and oh my gosh, that. And then eventually Lauren Faust got her hands on it and she did not make it any better. I'm sorry. I feel like she's losing her edge there.
Okay, I haven't seen the show yet, but chances are I'm going to disagree with you strongly.
Maybe you are. But like I saw a few things. I saw like the screenshots. I saw like an episode or two. I'm just like, what happened to you, Lauren?
Come on, dude, be nice.
Like, no, but this is the same person who created Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
No.
Well, Craig McCracken created, but she still wrote episodes.
There are a couple of episodes she's not proud of, though.
Yeah, technically, yeah, she did admit that. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, I felt like she was doing, but I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I definitely say she created an impactful show. I think more people actually appreciate Megan McCarthy more than Lauren Faust, in a sense, because...
No, but even then, she still played a part as to why
this
show turned
definitely,
out so great.
but like Megan McCarthy made the show like into its big impact, except the only thing I will argue with her is like the fact she created Equestria Girls, which over time has grown on me.
I don't know if she created Equestria Girls. I just know she wrote the first
She
one.
technically came up with the idea of Equestria Girls, from what I understand.
Because I'm pretty sure this whole thing was, created by corporate.
Yeah, yeah, but like I said, there were imposters that were going on, but I kind of ignored them. I still mostly...
when something is as successful as Friendship is Magic, there will be people who want a piece of that pie.
Understandably so, but like I think this is where the fact that, and I think My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was, and officially was, the start of the impacting of female-centered series. Because haven't you noticed that a lot of shows afterwards were female-centered series, and more have been starting to come to the line lately?
I mean, are we talking about Western cartoons only?
Western, even Japanese too.
No, because I know anime's done this for years.
Anime's technically done this for years, but like this is where Western started doing this a lot more. We had She-Ra and the Princess of Power. We had Harvey Street Kids. Steven Universe technically counts too, in a sense. And we've also had things like The Loud House. We've had what was that other series? I know the name of it. Oh yeah, Infinity Train, which came out recently, and that was really good.
That was an amazing show.
Season 2's coming out.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that. But like I said, and also we have Amphibia, which I think is a really good show. I didn't know I was going to love. And then the Owl House is coming out. Star vs. the Forces of Evil.
Actually, I think the 2010s was where it started to feel a lot more creator driven. For the first time since the 90s.
Yeah. At the same time, though, of course, a lot.
More people got an opportunity to pitch their show and make it a reality.
Yeah, though they take chances and stuff, but like at the same time when you think about it, it's starting to get a little bit overboard in a sense. But like I said, not asking them to stop it or anything, but like a lot of the female-centered shows seems to be piling up more and more, and it's just like, yeah, we get it. You definitely, impactful, good. You were making a quality show, but it's just yes, in the 80s and 90s, it was like a super sausage fest, but it's just like, yes, we get it. Even video games are doing the same thing.
Okay, it's just, again, more people, are letting their voices be heard.
Understandably so. And, yeah, anyway, even in video games, we got good quality games, like Hat in Time. We got
Gravity Rush.
Gravity Rush. No, that technically was before, and we
No,
got
it's same decade.
same decade. Okay, and we got I know the name of this. It's a very indie, very wonderful series. It's called
Celeste.
Celeste. We got Celeste, and we got River City Girls out of this.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange, and we even got Last of Us Part 2, still was really impactful towards this, and understandably...
That game's not out yet.
But we've seen the trailers. I've seen the trailers, and it looks like they're focusing on that character. So yeah, we've had... This show has impacted a lot of things, and in good ways, some bad ways, but at the same time, it's made its impact, its mark, and we're still dealing with a resurgence of nostalgia just being oversaturated at this point.
Anyways, shall we wrap this up?
I guess we should.
Yeah, so I was pretty satisfied with the finale. I'm really going to miss this show, but I'm definitely going to look back very fondly towards it. And, I'm proud to be a brony. I'm not afraid to say that.
I'm proud to be a person who loves this show. I can definitely say that. Not to say that the fandom hasn't done anything good, but they've done a lot of good things that, you know what, I'll overlook the bad stuff.
It's amazing that a lot of people found their calling thanks to this show. Friendships were formed because of the show. Some have even found their spouses or future spouses.
Oh yeah, some of them are very nice. Some charming ones too. It's very nice. It's very nice.
So the impact that the show has made cannot be understated.
Nope.
So
did you hear about Pony Life?
That's not what this video is about. Look, whatever the future of My Little Pony is...
I knew this was coming.
Look, whatever the future of My Little Pony is...
It's Teen Titans Go all over again!
Dude. Whatever the future of My Little Pony is moving forward, I'm satisfied with Friendship is Magic. Heck, if I ever have children, I will gladly introduce the show to them.
I hope they have a complete Blu-ray collection, Hasbro. Do it.
I would love to see, a complete series collection.
And also extra features of behind the scenes of how this series really got started.
Like that one documentary that played played before the finale.
Yep.
That's a start.
I want a complete Blu-ray. And I want you... You know what they should do in the Blu-ray? They should definitely create new intros that represent each season. Yeah. It would be extra work, but it's extra work paid off. So yes, that's our thoughts on the finale and My Little Pony in itself.
Yeah.
It's finally over, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's one last thing to say.
Yep.
Friendship really is magic. I'm gonna miss this show.
Pony life is gonna suck, isn't it?
You just had to ruin it.
Of course I had to. You know exactly what I had to do. It was not like...
Well, farewell.
Pony life is gonna